everyone. We're going to make a spring wreath today, a natural sustainable living wreath. So this is the ones that we sell on our website, and also the kits, so that you know how to do it. You need to follow these steps. And also for those of you who just want to have a go, who just love the garden and just want to have a little go at making something that's really wonderful for this time of year. It's so nice today, the sun's shining, the sky is blue, it's just nice. It makes everyone feel a little bit better. I had a heap of stuff that I should be doing today, but I just can't mentally do anything at the computer. I had to come and create. So looking forward to doing it with you. So I'm just going to tip the camera down so that you can see all the materials that I've got and to see me working. So what you will need, I'm a messy worker, is a 12-inch reel frame, copper wire and some real wire. Now if you're making this really sustainable, you could use string to attach your moss, but very similar to the Christmas wreath design, you want to be attaching, move some of my bulbs here, attaching the moss in exactly the same way. So I've got some moss. I've still had this from Christmas. I mean, I use it all year round anyway, but if it does dry out a bit, just rehydrate it by spraying it with the mister, and we're just going to attach a small amount onto our frame. We want to make sure that it's nice and tight, and we want to go all the way around our design. And really, I've got some stuff that I buy. I mean, I buy things from the wholesaler. Try and buy British as much as I can, but really it depends. You could forage for a lot of this yourself, depending on what type of garden that you've got. Can you see okay? I'm just checking. You know, you could get a lot of this stuff from the garden or the hedgerows, some lovely blossom at the moment. Supermarkets are in abundance, and fruit and veg shops with spring bulbs, spring flowers. So there's lots to choose from to make it in a really affordable way. So I'm just going to put some bulbs in there. If I was using fresh flowers, I would use the little flower tubes to fill with water and hide those amongst in the moss, and I will show you those as well. So we're just going all the way around with our moss and our reel wire until we've covered our frame. And this is the bit people often ask, how long will it last? It will last, particularly this one will keep growing and changing, but your wreath will last as long as you look after it. So if you let your moss dry out and you neglect it, it's not going to last as longer, but as long as you keep your base nice and hydrated, it will last for a good, should be a good month, good 3 weeks. You might have to pull some bits out, some flowers and foliage along the way, and replace bits, but that's absolutely fine. So we're left with our base. Just move some of my bulbs like so. And I've just been into the garden and I've got lots of lovely stuff. So this is some hebe. I've got lots of twisted willow here. Some daffs that I've not sure if I'm going to use. I'm going to put those there. Some periwinkle strands. There's no exact science to this. I've got some wax flower, cherry blossom here, some soft ruscus, florist staple that I've just chopped up, some variegated hebe, and also there's some skimmier, the bits of viburnum that I've just cut as well. So just a selection. So how I'm going to do it is slightly different to Christmas, because I'm going to embed the branches into the moss like so. I'm still going to keep my wire attached, and you'll see why in a minute, because I'm going to gently go around the wreath with the wire. So I'm just going to bring it round and gently hook that into place, because when I get my bulbs, I'm going to use the wire to hold those into place. So I've got a group of 3 bulbs here, and I'm just prizing them away from each other, the roots. and I'm going to give it a shake in the soil. This is tay-to-tay, and I'm going to leave the root base on here. I'm going to give it a nice big drink with my water mister. I'm just going to place it on top of the wreath like so, and then wrap. This is why you need to keep your wire attached, and wrap it round with wire. And what I'm also going to do is put a tiny little bit of moss over the top of the roots, and then afterwards we're going to give it a nice big drink. We're going to spray it so that it's hydrated. So as long as the root's hydrated, this is absolutely fine. And then I'm going to carry on going round with bits of foliage. I'm going to just use my wire to attach that one. And then I've got this grape hyacinth. So these are quite in flower at the moment. So if this is one for a customer, for instance, I'm just going to break those up. I want some of it in flower already, so that it's a nice impact initially. So I've got some bulbs that are in flower, and some like this one, can you still see that it's not quite so established. So again, they've got quite big root balls, and just literally prizing them away from each other, being really careful not to damage the roots too much. And I just want to nestle those inside. And with my wire, I'm going to wrap it around. Excuse me, just got some tea. I'm just going to wrap it around like so, because I want to see these bulbs because they're really pretty. So I don't want to cover the mechanic up. Coughing away. I'm using a bit of wax flour like so. I'm prodding it in. So I just want to make it really pretty. I'm going to use pinks and blues for this design. I've got some cherry blossom. Where's my scissors? Here they are. And I'm just going to cut this off. And I'm going to stick these branches in as well. So these are going to go straight into the moss, like so. I've got my pussy willow here, and I've got my twisted willow, and I'm going to put that in there. And I love how they've got the movement of this. It's just going to curl round the base. Now a good trick with this is we get some moss pins. Can you still hear me? We use the pins like so. These will be in your kit, just to hook them in different places. And it creates that lovely movement within the design. So I'm just going round and I'm placing some foliage into the moss, and I'm placing some on top of it as I go. Wrapping it, securing the bulb in place with the wire, like so. And you see how it's just started to build up, and then I'm going to continue to do that all the way around until I've got a really nice shape. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit now.